Welcome to PivotLab Playground, everybody. This is where we explore what happens when curiosity meets AI. And we are here with a few friends who joined the recent hackathon by Built with AI featuring Lovable. And huge shout out to Andre and Daniel Cervantes for making this event possible. I think for all of us, it was the first time joining a hackathon, right? Awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
My name is Jonathan Chu. And today I will be the host for the session. And along with me are my three good friends. We have Jonathan Ong, we have Nancy Saw, and we have a special guest extraordinaire, Miss Pauline Chia. Woo!
Welcome.
Welcome. Pauline, you want to say something to introduce yourself?
Okay. Hi, my name is Pauline. On social media, I'm known as It's Super Pow. So apparently a lot of people think that I sell Pow, but actually no. I do a lot of coaching work.
Sell Pow.
Yeah.
Pow.
So happened because I have another client named Pauline. So they had to, differentiate us. So it's like John Ong, John Chu, right? I became Pow Pow. And when I put my coaching hat on, they call me Super Pow or Evil Pow, depending whether they like me or they don't like me at that moment when I'm coaching them lah. So what I do basically is I help service-based founders turn their face into business growth strategy. And this is something that I've been saying for many years, if you are good at what you do, but nobody knows you, basically you are an under-monetized genius. And what I do is I help entrepreneurs to build their authority using content so that they get to be seen in public, not just to get likes, but really to get clients and to monetize their personal brand. That's what I literally do, helping them to become sexy and wanted through social media.
Wow.
Nice.
Thank you so much for joining us, Pauline. Jono and Nancy, would you like to also do like a quick, simple intro?
Yeah, sure. I'll share. So, my name is John. A lot of people call me John Ong or John, and I work at the Makeover Guys. Essentially corporate projects, doing B2B work, furnishing work with property developers. So, and of course, at the side, moonlighting or helping out with Pivot Labs.
Nice.
Okay, for me, I'm the odd one out here. I'm not in a corporate sector. I'm in the education line. I'm an English teacher for 11 years now. It's just trying to figure out if there's anything interesting that I can add on to what I have already been doing.
Nice. What I like about the four of us, is that we come from extremely different backgrounds. So I think today's conversation is going to be quite interesting because in the hackathon, four of us also built something different. But what connects us is the belief that, everyone, no matter your background, your expertise, we can build something meaningful when you pair your ideas with the right tools and also having the right community. Three things we would love for our listeners to walk away with today. First, anyone can build something meaningful with AI. Second, your expertise, your domain, that domain knowledge that you have is your biggest advantage. And the third one is building in community will accelerate your learning and impact. So just to give you a flavor of the problem statements that we covered during the hackathon, we had 7 topics in total. The first one is mental health, followed by students' social or emotional intelligence, impact storytelling, youth literacy, and what we call PWD employment. This is, I think, it's helping employers and organizations to work better with people with learning disabilities, creating more inclusive employment environment. Financial literacy, and last but not at all least, waste reduction. So just to go one round, John, I think you worked on waste reduction, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Right. What about Pauline? Which one did you work on?
I did financial literacy.
All right. So it's 6. Okay. Then Nancy?
Mental health, the first one.
Mental health.
The first one.
Got it. The first one, yeah. And I did I did the third one, which is impact storytelling. Awesome. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. Each of us, we will take turns. We'll share the topic we pick, and then we'll talk through the problem statement, what the bill was, and what we learned, what our thought process was. All right. So without further ado, let's Jonathan, we start with you.
All right. So first, shout out to Andre and the team for putting together the awesome event. I really had a lot of fun. In and of itself also, it's an experience, the adventure, just getting to the venue, going through the entire journey, right, and its ups and downs. For my topic, I initially wanted to go with financial literacy, and it's something that I'm very passionate about actually being in the realm of like property investment, real estate, and ID, right? So this is actually the domain that I wanted to go in. But the reason why I didn't go with this during the hackathon was I wasn't able to have this whole idea, that whole execution A to Z visualized. So if I don't have that idea visualized, I would probably struggle to conceptualize it or tell the tool that I'm working with, right, to create it for me. So as I was reflecting, I quickly need to pivot because in the end, the whole objective of the event is to create something that you can deliver and ship and present, you see. So I had to quickly think about what's the next best thing that I can go to, even though it's not necessarily for the main passion, but I could actually visualize to the end and I can want to make it something relatable to me. So I went to waste reduction. I took on this thought like a lay person, right? I'm pretty sure every one of us in this room would probably like to be a better, more environmentally responsible person, right? We want to reduce our waste. We want to be able to recycle better, do all those things. But sometimes, why don't we do it, right? We all have good intentions, but there's always a gap between the intention and the actual action. And I think my goal was to actually remove this gap, this friction gap to actually trigger more action. So if I can enable more people, like the majority, the mass, so my group is like, I'm not targeting people who are like already very environmentally, very proactive, because they will go out of their way to be extra environmentally conscious. I'm targeting the mass, the people who are like, okay, I would like to be, but not at the expense of my own, perhaps, hassle, time, energy to go and find. Because sometimes, let's face it, right? Recycling or reusing, doing the right thing may not be easy. I think in Malaysia, we always see the example, the easy thing is to throw the rubbish out of the car, right? But the thing is like keeping onto it, finding the right spot. But being environmentally conscious, going another step. So let's say if you have like a recyclable item, you need to collect it, give it in the right bin. So this journey is not seamless, it's not hassle-free. And do you even know where to even begin, what to do with it? Right? And what if you put the wrong thing? So like imagine you walk in a mall nowadays, you see in the mall there's like 3 different kinds of like bins, right? Which bin put the right thing? Sometimes I also the second guess myself, like, hey, actually this one, is it general trash or is it actually recyclable? Because I remember, like, for example, I have a paper cup. I want to recycle the paper cup. Oh, you can't if it's already used or contaminated, or for example, there's a plastic film inside, you cannot do it anymore. Then you're like, oh, actually can or cannot one. Then you know what, forget it. I'll just chuck it into the general waste bin, and then because I don't have time for this, right? So what I started to build actually revolved around this idea, like how do I reduce the friction, and if I can reduce that for the general mass market, if they can adopt people to use it, how would that do for the greater good around the city or where we live, right? So I started by creating this idea. The basic idea started around creating an app, right, that can actually help you take a photo of the item that you're about to dispose, right? And then it tells you what to do with it. Like, what's the best way to deal with this particular item? So the idea came up to become EcoLens, and then I started to build additional features around it. So to share that, I think I will share the one that I've completed to present. Although I didn't have a chance to present, so this is my chance to lepas geram a bit. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, and it looks beautiful.
Yeah, it looks awesome, right? So something that I cannot take credit for. It's something the platform did on its own. So the whole idea is to snap a photo, get instant guidance, whether you can even repair, recycle, and donate. You can even have your account, right, track your total environmental impact, so that you kind of have like a journal. So this idea also, it revolves around, like, for example, if you're a person who goes to exercise or work out, one of the ways that keeps you motivated to keep going is keeping like a workout journal. So I kind of like brought this idea over and say, hey, why not make this like every time you're throwing something, right, are you consciously always making the right choice or the best choice possible, so you can keep track, and maybe when you look back, because it's kind of like gamified idea, right, you'll actually motivate yourself to keep making the right choices. So the whole idea is like, okay, we're going to use AI to analyze the item, what item it is. From there, what is the likely carbon footprint that you will save or you trigger if you dispose different methods? It was supposed to help you have local resources to be able to find the nearest recycling center, so to speak, right? And then later on, I started to add features like the community hub, like if you wanted to donate items or request for items, can you have a community where you can exchange items or even have discussions, and then maybe even have like a ranking among other users as well. How's your environmental impact? So that kind of incentivizes you to like make smarter choices lah. So the whole idea of the feature is that, just take one photo, you get the whole clarity, and then we can take the photo, give the impact that you want. So examples of the impact you can see. The whole community will show you how much carbon footprint did you save, how many items do you redirect that will otherwise go to trash, maybe even value save. So this is the part that maybe also to incentivize people who want to connect to, okay, I want to make the environmentally conscious choice, but it has to also benefit me. When you start, the whole idea is you will log in. Okay, for logged in already, this is my dashboard. It will show me the total carbon footprint I've saved, maybe the value of the money if I reused it that I've saved as well, the total items I've tracked so far. Now I'm starting on the 50th percentile because I'm the only user right now, right? So I'll have a bell curve, and I'll also have like a character alignment. So because I've already put in a couple of items, my character alignment is kind of like, my karma very good, right? Everyone starts off at neutral. If you make the not so great choice, then this is another part of gamification. You kind of like, go lower a little bit. So you're environmentally a bit more destructive than sustainable. Following that will be, I wanted to add features like news and events. So you can actually have the local, supposed to scrape the news, the locals for local events around your area. This is what I managed to work out, whereby based on your IP or your GPS, right, you're able to have your local recycling centers. So these are all scraped from the locations around you. So this is my photo history. So you can see here, I already have used plastic cup, straws, paper tissue, and then what did I choose to do? Like if I just choose to dispose it, what is the outcome? If I choose to compost it instead of just throwing it away, then of course I'll get even more karma points, right? And if I recycle it, I get more. If I just throw a paper cup, then it's a negative part, right? So it depends on what I'm going to do. Like for example, whiteboard, they can even tell that it's a whiteboard marker, and it's going to tell me to refill it, to reuse it, so that I wouldn't have to throw it away, and I'll save X amount of dollars from not having to purchase a brand new whiteboard marker. So build the system with the AI being able to tell me that. Let me share with you how it looks like if I were to open the camera right now. If it's on the web app, it'll be easier. But right now, I'm going to a photo. So the latest one I just going to upload right now is a plastic container. So imagine you take a photo like this. You analyze the item right now. Just take some time. Now you can see I can identify that the photo is a plastic container, clear, and it's possibly for food. So then because of that, it can recommend you that you can reuse it for storage, for crafts, or reduce the need for new plastic items and extends the life cycle. So this is the most impactful action for plastic items. It'll tell you how much can you save, what's the best karma points. Alternatively, if this is clean, accepted by local recycling programs, they even tell you to check for the number at the bottom of the container. Then you can turn it into new products, and then lesser costs in getting back the item, and then lesser karma. And then of course, if you just choose to just dispose properly, then you give you options. So this is 3 options because it is plastic. If there are other options, they can actually give you more options as well. Let's say if it's a biodegradable option, then they'll probably give you a compost option. So that's what I actually noticed. It was quite cool. So let's say I'm being quite bad today. Okay, I'll click dispose properly instead of reuse, confirm the action. So that you will then add to my entire list, and then you will bring my score down. So you can see now my score just now was 100. It's now dropped a little bit. So I'm a little bit closer. I dropped 10 points instead of full 100. Now I'm 90 already in my character alignment. So I can continue to click on this, and then let's try one more. Click on this. Let's try a power bank. All right. So analyze the item. Right. So you can even tell me that it's a Xiaomi power bank. You can tell me to reuse. In this case, can donate also, and then recycle, and then dispose properly. So let's say I want to donate. I click. So I make sure I have to go through with it lah. So next part is the dashboard that I've created over here. So I've added all this already. So I can go to the community hub. I've actually listed a post here. So you can actually list your item. You can click here, list your item. So in this case, power bank, right? So you can type things like Xiaomi power bank. Then my condition is like maybe just fair, right? And then put my location, my number. So then I'll just submit. Okay, I have to put my email. So then you can see it's listed here. And it's like, they can even tell you that the AI tells you whether it's reusable or whatnot. You can also request for items. You can submit news. And then there's also a discussion. I've even decided that, hey, I can add a feature whereby you can have a forum to discuss. So you can add a topic discussion regarding sustainable living, waste reduction. So like in this case, I'm putting a shout out here, like, okay, looking for communities to repurpose items. Is anyone out there? So these are kind of a snapshot and nutshell of what I've put together. Yeah. Let me know any questions you all have or what your thoughts are.
I just have to say, this is so amazing. Like, so comprehensive. Like, what was your process of building it? Like, did you spend like a lot of energy in building the PRD, the product requirement document?
Okay, good question, because initially I did the basic version of PRD and I went to execute. Then I quickly found out that it wasn't what I like, right? And then if I started to prompt the Lovable, I started to use up credits. So I was clearly very kiasu. I don't want to lose money on the credits, right? So I said, okay, maybe I should refine it more on ChatGPT first. So I went back, I worked with the PRD, refined it a lot further until I get what I felt on the PRD level was something that I was close to what I want in terms of features. Then I took that and I straight away scrapped the first version and I rebuilt it instead of iterating on the first one lah. So that was my thought process. The small features like debugging, troubleshooting, that one I can do on Lovable, but if it's like fundamentally quite different features, then I would rather just rebuild from the PRD. So that was my journey lah. Then of course, once I started creating that, right, I had other ideas. I started to layer more and more ideas on top of it. Like I started to do things like, what if I can make it like how do I make it social? Like I even had grand plans, right, to even make it like into a game. Like, what do you mean by game? Like I had the idea that every time you take a picture of the trash, right, you further a story of your character, whether it's good or bad. Then it tells a story. Then you can actually share the story, like and decide what art style you want. You want anime style, manga style, what you want, graphic novel style, or whatever style, right, to tell this character story. It will tell the story for you of your character as you make choices. And the choices is like revolving around your country, your city of origin. So it gives you the more passion and patriotic pride. For example, you're like from Malaysia or from KL, right? You'll tell about this character in KL and how your actions impact KL, for example, in a fantasy fictional way lah. So you're supposed to grow that kind of pride. So I went down that rabbit hole. I wanted to create this game. I wanted to do all these things, right? But of course, I tried the next version. And then that next version, I realized that it started to test the limits lah. I think I broke the thing lah. So if I were to let me share, I did build another one actually. So let me share my screen.
All in the 3 hours of the hackathon.
Yeah, but I think if I were to share my preview right now, this one wasn't working very well lah. So to be honest with that, okay, let me try signing in again. So let's say, okay, create my account. I don't think it works. So right now I'm not sure that it works. So let me just try creating it. So you see, like I'm supposed to be able to choose like manga, adventure, comic hero, graphic novel. Let's say I say graphic novel, right? In my story. So I wasn't able to get this thing to work. So I had trouble. So I decided that, okay, I think maybe this is going down the realm of being too complicated. So I decided that this is the limit of what I can achieve in the hackathon. Dial it all the way back. And then I went back to this first version, first idea to launch. I think this is enough. Let me just try to polish. So I spent the rest of the hackathon just polishing this part lah, like adding the forum features and then like going into detail lah. Like for example, even when you ask them to build a forum for you, there are certain tools that's not available. Like you cannot edit your posts, you cannot delete your posts. So you start to like prompt it to add those features in. I had certain features that was broken. I think my character alignment meter was kind of like broken. It wasn't resetting. When I cleared the history, it didn't reset to 50. So I took some time to work with that as well. So those are the things I spent some time working on, making sure that I wasn't in the panic mode to ship, right? Something that's not so great. I knew that this was a scope that I could deliver with this set amount of time. So I spent time polishing that lah. I sound
I really like the karma points.
Yeah, thanks. I sound like I have done
really
this
nice.
hackathon before, but this is my first time. So I was like, okay, I didn't have a game plan.
It feels like we have done this many times.
It's definitely something that, a lot of Malaysians need because like what you said, we sometimes have a lot of good intention, but things are made so difficult as such as the action that we take is always a shortcut. So imagine if we can nurture this from a very young age, right? Could Malaysia be much cleaner? Could we be more environmentally responsible? I think this is like a good initiative because sometimes I'm like, okay, what do I do with my egg tray plastic? Some people say can recycle, some people say cannot. When you send it to the recycling center, they say, oh, this one cannot. And then, they reject you. Then you feel like, hey, what I'm trying to do is putting all the recycles at my storeroom until it's all full up. separately go there kena rejected. I was like, wow, okay.
It's like all the hard
precisely,
work, right?
precisely.
And then you go there.
Yeah. So it's like, I think a lot of us have to make things easy, because if you want to get people to inculcate a new habit, you've got to encourage them. So I think it's nice, like the karma points and all is very encouraging. And the inner motivation, like how you have gamified it enhances people's hidden ego. Like they get to share in public to their friends, like, hey, I'm doing this. Like, what about you? So it becomes competitive in a way.
Yeah. I like that you pointed out behavioral change, Pauline. So that was also my thought process. When I thought about behavioral change, how to engineer it, okay, I need to track it, compare it with people. But some people don't respond well to that. Some people respond well to supportive community, not competitive. So different people engage differently, right? So that's where I came up with the idea of forums and engaging and having events. Because people like that social part. Hey, if you get together and let's say, for example, you couldn't find the recycling center, right? And you struggle, like, oh, what do I do next, right? Is there an event that can bring people together to repurpose it again? Then suddenly it becomes like a weekend craft event. That was also my thought process. Like, okay, for creatives to come together, now suddenly you can repurpose all this and then you can maybe display it later on, whatever, or be part of the campaign. So all you need to do is just be connected to the right event and the right people. So I wanted to start to lead down that path for behavioral change. Yeah, so it's quite nice you pointed out.
Cool.
Yeah, when Pauline was talking about like inculcate this habit since young, right? I cannot help but to like think of my school. Like during my school days, I'm sure you all have the same experience. We all have this competition whereby we bring newspapers to school, and then you weigh the newspaper and like the heaviest one will win something. And I feel like after all these years and it's still in school, that kind of competition, like it's like so lame. Like, please, we are in the 21st century, please do something better. So I was just thinking, like, John Ong's app probably could like help motivate the kids to want to recycle or participate in it, because it's very engaging, and yeah, they can do so much with it rather than, just bring newspapers to school, like, the normal things. But through that, they can also educate themselves, like what are the rubbish or materials that's available that can be recycled or what cannot be recycled, right? So I was just, as you were explaining about your app, I was just thinking like, how can I use this in school?
Nice.
How can I implement it in school?
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
I would even like think that if I go down the track, right, I like maybe create like a competition among schools to talk about like make it artistic. Right?
Definitely.
The brief is to take only recyclable items, but create a sculpture or something that is installation, and the winning one will be prize something among the schools, and you win some sort of prize, right, for the entire school. So make it kind of like a social competition, and then the app can like maybe give you ideas. Like you take the photos of these items, right? It can give you ideas and suggest what can you do with this to create what kind of art piece, and they can decide, oh, do I want this? Does it resonate with me? And then they can maybe use it to inspire them to create the art piece as opposed to being left on their own. Because sometimes the creation journey is quite tough. Not everybody is very creative. Like some they get mental block. So if the AI can help you overcome the first level of the mental block and just inspire you to take action to start building, I think that would be also great also for schools.
Yeah, definitely.
Great point. Yeah, it's a very nice balance between community engagement and competition. So whichever you resonate with, right? Sure, you can. Yeah, I love it.
That's true.
Nice.
Awesome. Any other like?
Building it?
Sorry, come again?
Sorry, Pauline, go ahead.
Are you planning to continue to develop this so that it's something that you can put it out there?
If there is a demand for it, I build it for fun. But I think maybe the listeners can drop the comments below and like let me know if there is some demand for this. If that, I will definitely be open to building, because I think right now it has been quite hectic, quite busy for me, right? And I actually got, from the whole experience of this hackathon, I suddenly have a whole list of other ideas that I want to build, right? So I got a whole bunch of like business ideas, or I actually want to try building as well using those credits. But of course, if there's enough people who say that, hey, you know what, John, please ship this app. It's going to be valuable for us. Give me some feedback. I'll be happy to actually continue pursuing this line of thought and then see how far I can develop this idea further.
Okay. Yeah, I was just thinking because I recently have this client who has a factory in Klang, and what they do is they turn glass, recyclables glass into basins. So it's like for homes, for commercial lots and all that. It's literally basins, but it's made from recycled glass. And we were asking her, like, how can we actually go and like recycle all of our glass because it's very difficult. And she has this
Mhm.
machine which is a glass crusher that she wanted to rent out to like commercial units and all that. So I thought it was pretty cool. Like imagine if your app also have something like that. And all this like ESG or environmentally friendly organization can be put together over there. Then it will expand our perspective and also knowing that, hey, we can actually reach out to all of these places. Yeah.
I like where this conversation is taking me in terms of like the second phase already and adding ideas. And in fact, I think me coming from a renovation industry, right, it can be something that suddenly is like I initially imagined to be a mass lay person, right? But if it's B2B, so suddenly, right, can I incorporate it in, like, for example, my company's process? So, for example, my operations people, when they're always doing renovation, there's always a lot of waste generated. What if, as part of the app, they click, okay, I know how to deal with all this trash in a very responsible way. It's not just putting into the Roro bin and then they be shipped away and letting somebody else deal with it, right? So that can also be a ESG story that I can start to incorporate as well. So then thanks for the thought.
Okay, no worries. I will site PM you.
TM the P.
Nice. Yeah, do that.
Amazing. Any other thoughts? Or John, like what was this whole journey of building this like for you since it was your first time?
To be honest, I wasn't looking forward to the event. Initially, it's like, oh my gosh, it's on a Saturday. I have to wake up. I'm not a morning person, and the event starts at like 9 o'clock. And I'll spend like the whole day there until the evening. And I was like, can I not go for the event? So I'm grateful for John and Nancy for like how like say, let's go, you must go and learn this tool. And I haven't really, I have no exposure to Lovable. So I don't know the value of it, right? So even
You're
the
not
first
alone.
part of it, yeah.
It was also first time for me.
Same, first time. All of us first time, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so navigating to the event was like, okay, wow, even finding the parking was a struggle for me. So like I went a few rounds, was late already, hurried in, hungry. I was like, okay lah, but thankfully what saved the day was the nasi lemak, damn awesome nasi lemak. I had 3 packs, it was so good. I have to ask Audrey, the organizer, hey, guys, well, who actually brought the nasi lemak? Where you buy from? I need to get more of this nasi lemak, right? And then apparently one of the community members bought and donated. So yeah, thank you so much for turning my day around with awesome nasi lemak. And of course, even the journey itself, learning the tool and initially like kind of like bumbling around because I'm totally don't know how to use the tool, right? Can be a bit frustrating at first. But thankfully that's where you're in a group, in the same table, the team, they can like encourage each other, people come over and help you. And I think this is where I start to experience the supportive nature of the community, right? So they can share tips. If you're stuck, what can you do? And then I get to observe what people are doing with their flow. How can I learn quickly from them? So I pick up very fast thanks to all these elements in there. And then the competitive part started to come in because they started saying, oh, you want to prepare and ship and present. And for me, I didn't care about the price, although the price is quite cool. But what I really cared about was I've already created something that I felt quite proud of from zero. I just wanted the stage to be able to share what I've built with everybody. So, hey, look at guys, what have I built? I just want to be able to express that. So, but unfortunately, it wasn't shortlisted. So, yeah, because I kept it in that too.
We have this podcast recording. That's why. Awesome.
Oh,
So,
dear.
with that, shall we move on to Pauline, who to take the stage to share what you built? I'm so curious.
Yeah.
I feel so pressured right now because John wanted to be on stage, right? And I'm like, I'm just gonna cruise through till 5 p.m. and then tapao balik rumah. Never showed my project at all. And then suddenly that night, John Chu decided to just message me and I'm like, oh dear, what have I gotten myself into? So it has been 14 days. I have not done much, nor did I update any of my app, but I can tell you that it is not 100% done. I think at most it is only at 60%. But I actually went into the financial literacy route, thinking that it was a simple project to build. I did show John during the hackathon days that I had 3 ideas. So one was actually 404 feelings, and that's for mental wellness. And then another one was basically the impact storytelling. How do you actually turn all these NGOs into a dating place? So it's like a Tinder for the community. But as I was thinking about all of these ideas, it got seriously complicated. And I was like, okay, screw it. Let me just do the easiest. So I thought, but as you know, it's not complete. So it got complicated. And The whole reason why I wanted to do financial literacy is because I come from a coaching background. And a lot of times having speak to people or attending workshops and all that, I realized that a lot of people actually don't have money problem, but they do have a belief problem about money, and they also have like a conditioning problem about money. So I realized that out there's a lot of apps that, teach about finance facts, or it teach about budgeting, keeping track of your finances, but there is very little app out there that actually teach about behavior and mindset around money. So I thought, okay, why not? Let's just experiment with it. And I also see, a lot of friends around me that has conversations whenever they talk about money. Sometimes they feel anxious. Even when they want to buy something, there is a conversation in their mind to whether do they want to do it or not. But for other people, sometimes it could be like very non-brainer. It could be impulsive. So the question here is, how can we actually reframe that belief system? And so I decided that they don't need another budgeting app. But maybe what they need right now is to go to the root cause and look into a mindset reset. Be aware about where they are so that they have the power to do something different. And that's how they can actually change the future of how, their relationship is like with money. And so this app is basically to help them understand and also to have micro habits. So it was just born. This app, which is a bit funny, the name is called Managy. If you want to put a English slang to it, then you can, but I'm making it sound a little bit more yoga style. Managy. It's really to help people shift their energy around money, not just track it. Okay, so I'm going to show you the app. I'm a D student. John Ong is an A student. So don't put too much expectations on my stuff. Okay.
I wasn't aware I was what kind of student also.
I'm
I
putting
taught
you
in
as
class. I taught in class, so I never go to school. So I memang not even in school, not even a student.
a student. Okay, let's see. Share. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, we
Yes,
can
ah?
see it.
Okay.
Yep.
Love
I
it.
didn't really enhance much stuff lah. This is just damn prototype. But this is where we actually blend the financial literacy with emotional awareness. As you can see here, technically everybody has to start with doing a health check. So this is where you, in terms of your money vibe check. So there are, I think, about 7 questions maybe to see where they are with their money archetypes and also the energy state. And then from there, when we know where they are, we can actually shift the energy. So when we click let's go, this is a question that they will need to answer. I didn't really go with a typical route question and stuff. I want to keep it a little bit more chillax. It's like, okay, banking app moment of truth. So it's like more conversational just to see where they are. You just gotta answer. So this one is more on conditioning and your environment. Like what happens if your family money rule growing up. So it could be like this, for example. Then,
so fun.
we all have unexpected bills, right? So how do you feel or how do you respond to it when you have an unexpected bill? For some people, it's like, oh my God, life is over, that kind of thing. Or those that's more chill, they're like, I got buffer, then just chill lah. Okay? Then treating yourself. Sometimes, you can hear like people at 24 years old, they are like billionaire, millionaire, but then the way they live their life again, there's a lot of like, they don't pamper themselves. So we also want to do this. Okay? And then talking about money, how is it like your relationship when you share with them? What about when you get your salary? How do you usually respond to it? Like, what's your bank account like? Then what about big purchases? Like, do you make, impulse or do you research a lot? Then when people think about wealth, how do you actually feel? Like, is it possible, not possible? I'm totally not in the loop. Then you get your results. So when you get your results here, immediately it will just tell you that, your relationship with money is like, for example, it's always like a guilt tripper. So I do spend, but I also punish myself subconsciously. So that's like a unhealthy relationship that you have. But the good news here is we always want them to identify first because that's when the awareness level happens. Here, it actually just have a brief explanation in terms of how you are like in this category and then what is your hidden strength. Because at the end of the day, everybody has their strength and something to work on. And we only want to improve the things that you want to work on. And so it's just calling it like a hidden strength and common traps. Because you are not broken. It is just that the belief that you're holding on to just needs some tweaking. These are all the things that we will then start turning into micro habits to reduce the over apologizing for small joys or stuff like that. So if you look at it right here, we actually do give them like a 1 week plan in terms of all the little things that they can do every single day. This is really just to help break the money rule. So we want to help raise and introduce new belief. So for example, it could be like you save $10 in your future me fund. And it's nothing big because if you aim for big goals, chances are you are just going to fall back to your natural state. So we want to introduce all these little victories so that they feel good about themselves and they know that they have the power to change. So here they will have like affirmations just to practice. But as you can see, that's the 7 days kind of challenge. Actually got more, but obviously my prompting sucks. And then what I'll introduce after the 7 days here is there is a commitment to the thing. As much as this is for social enterprise or social impact, no, if it comes to introducing micro habits, you need to commit to your own life. It's $3.99 just so that they get a tad serious about it. It's not to make money. Okay, once they start their free thingy, okay, so they will then get their page. So this is where we will actually introduce the micro wins as well as the empowerment, where they will get to choose their quest. Before they come to this page, right, there's actually another page which I don't know what happened. It kind of like got a bit tergendala. But if you can see the onboarding session, it's going to appear for 1 second only, so you better pay attention. You will first need to choose your coach and your energy. So there's drill sergeant, there's buddy style and all that. Why? Because every individual approach to different kind of coaches. So if let's say you feel that you have always had coaches that is very nice and you have never moved, then maybe you want the drill sergeant Gordon Ramsay kind of energy. So Gordon Ramsay is going to come in to basically coach you for all your micro habits. Okay. So in here, Mak, kat mana? Yes, here. You will have the goal that you will need to pick. So it could be, for example, I am now aware. So what would then be the tangible range that I would like to challenge myself to have? And it could be maybe from $0 to $1,000. That could be like maybe the 3 months goal, but every day there will be the micro wins. Or for some people, it could be in the I'm ready stage. So that's intention. This is where they practice like small positive action to unlock the money belief. And then we have some other people that I'm in the flow. So that's momentum. So that's really about having them to feel safe when they're making money decisions, to be very aware about what is their conversations that they have in their mind. So all of this, basically, it's we have like daily quests where, can you recall the last time where you had a surprise bill? Like rate your panic from 1 to 10. And then what's your thought process like? And then we'll have like a daily quest. So for example, if let's say you feel guilty spending, right, in one of the days, they'll be like, okay, now you have $5, just go and spend. And then at night, there will be a journaling for you to reflect how did it feel spending $5 on yourself. So it is really just all of that to intervene their conditioning lah. So what we want to do here is to eliminate the panic meter and then to create their evidence folder so that, they can actually change without having all this problem to fall back to their original state. So that's how it looks like. It's totally not done because I realized the scoring system and all that during the prompting really had a lot of problems. So it stopped here and there. So I didn't submit it lah, because clearly you can see. But along the way, you technically want to move up the ladder because that means that, you have actually enhanced your belief system. And then like what John Ong said, I actually also was thinking of a community because that is when they can share their wins. They can share like what are the things that actually work, and it becomes like a cheerleader and a support system where people find that, hey, I'm actually not alone in this journey. So if I need anything, if there are moments where I feel maybe weak or vulnerable, I can actually just go to the community to get myself lifted up again. So this app is not to beat each other up, but it's like you can fall back. But the most important thing here is what do you do when you're aware and what is your next intention? You can always choose, because if you don't choose, that's where, all hell breaks loose lah. Yeah, so that is it.
Yeah, it's
So
so
amazing.
fun. I hope you continue.
Yeah.
Just continue, okay?
Yeah.
Then let us be the
Hamster for Ken.
hang on.
Wow. I
Yeah.
I really find that
Hang
this
on.
is such a refreshing take
Everything is
on
falling.
finance because
Okay.
Yeah.
normally when I talk about finance, right, or we look at finance like podcast, content, whatever platform out there, right, it's very numbers, cold, very analytically driven. It's really, this area is very underserved space. It's like the belief that's driving the action. And you went there. And because of that, right, the whole journey doesn't become intimidating, right? Because normally this kind of apps is like, I already feel shitty about my finances. You're going to intimidate it further by filling up those numbers that I don't even know how to do. And it's like even making me feel worse. It's like a reinforcing loop, right? Negative loop. But you went down the route of, okay, how do I tackle the core root problem, like the emotional part, the psychology behind it? And then start to actually build the habits to it, and you make it very accessible. And even the first page is like, it's like a quiz, right? And then it's like those quiz that you see online. Oh, let's try and see where I rate, the kind of personality test kind of thing. So I found that to be very, very fun and very accessible to a lot of people. So when you start that journey, it's like, okay, I want to do a little bit more, and then it's like a journey of self-discovery. And I like that you have different permissions, like, okay, knowing that your personality type is a bit different, how would you respond to different kinds of like coaching? So it's kind of like a coaching to lead you all the way to have your own personal win, tracking it in, having the things. Yeah, I please continue. I think this is awesome. I would like to use the app as well.
Thank you. Initially, the archetypes and all that, I also didn't want to classify like money. So that's why I used the underground ostrich, because ostrich, they like to hide their head on the ground, right? And then the next one is the guilt tripper. I need to tweak that one. Then I have like the panic button, the hustler kings and queens, and then the zen master. So yeah, but then just to play with it, I thought that like what John Ong said, I didn't want them to attach to a dollar sign, because money has always been a very heavy topic. When people think about it, they put it aside, and which is why it gets worse and worse. And if you look at the bankruptcy rate in Malaysia and all that, right, it's just getting very ridiculous number. So, but all of that happens because there is a hidden motivation or a conditioning of how they view, certain purchases. And there's an attachment of a relationship to an ego. So I think it's better to go into the root cause rather than just seeing the surface, like you make stupid decision. But that stupid means what? What is the conditioning that caused that stupidity? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
have you heard of Versa before?
Huh?
Versa. No.
Oh, it's an app.
So
it's a
Versa,
savings app,
it's
right?
like an app where you like save and you can invest also. And actually what I like about the app, when you were talking about your app, right, I was reminded of Versa. So I thought when I was using it as I'm speaking based on my experience with Versa, I thought that their marketing was very, very intelligent and fun. It was not like the normal investing app or the saving app that we normally have, which is very intimidating. And, sometimes it's just like, what is this? I don't know. Like, there's so many terms.
Yeah.
Of course, they have the serious side, but they also have quests for people to like engage in. So that, okay, if let's say you want higher interest, then you answer questionnaires, you read. So while they do that, they actually educate their users on like money matters. And then recently, or like these past few months, they actually had like riddles that you have to solve. And then after that, the riddles will then equate to a figure. So that figure, you will put that money. So basically, you're going to save that number, the amount into the app. And then if you win the riddle, they will give you an extra like 50 ringgit. It's not a lot, but it's those kind of like little incentive that actually give you that motivation to keep coming and like, this is fun, I'm playing with this, and at the same time I'm also saving money. So I thought that the person behind this, the idea of it was really, really smart, because it's so different from other saving apps.
Versa?
VE.
Okay, cool. Nice.
Yeah, get them to buy over your app or fund you or sponsor this podcast. Plug them enough here.
Oh, yeah. I kind of like advertise for them already, right?
Yeah,
correct.
free advertisement.
Use my code to get, extra 10 ringgit.
No, I mean, even just Nancy explaining about Versa, you can feel that her energy is high, So can you imagine, right? If a lot of users are having that high energy, what are the chances of you having the continuity of using that app to do something good for yourself.
Agree.
Yeah.
Agree.
I don't think that your.
Pick
I
it
know you
up.
said that yours is not very polished, right? But I actually thought the thought process and the structure is actually very comprehensive. Barring
Yeah.
there's some parts that it's more of a technical thing that kind of like broken along the journey, but the thought process and the structure is actually very complete. So I think you're already like
Agree.
about 90% there already. That fix that missing link only, right? And then
Yeah.
the technical part, but the journey is already well thought out, right? So I thought that was very, very complete.
Yeah,
thank
there's
you.
a lot of clarity in like your thought process, and like it's just figuring out like how to prompt it and like to make the whole thing work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because when
Please
I
don't
did,
stop, okay? Don't abandon this app, okay?
you come find me next year, I'll update you.
Next year, okay, never mind. Can. Next year is just a few months. It's okay,
Never mind,
boleh,
you get
boleh.
the moment
Once
the moment
January,
Versa,
I'll be like, Pauline,
I'll change my phone
are
number.
you ready with your app?
I'll change my social
No.
media handle also.
then see you already set the stage already. So when Versa start calling you, right, you have no choice already, you have to ship already.
You guys want to be my shareholders? Better invest in this app first.
I'll come. Yeah, I want to invest.
Come.
Let's go.
You ship it out, we will be your first.
So
I
in
will
two-
go
in
for
2
John's
months, right?
one.
In 2 months.
I'll definitely go for John's one because I am really pro waste reduction, which is why I hate my
Okay.
storeroom because it's full of waste, collecting it over like 1 month, 2 months, and then after that every Sunday, right, taking 2-3 hours just to do sortation. I was like, why am I doing this when other people don't care? My apartment don't even have a recycling bin. Can you imagine? And it's like
Wow.
22 floors, 3 blocks. We could do so much for the Mother Earth, but here we are just taking the convenience of it. So
Okay,
yeah,
so
that's
John
what I
Ong,
like for.
when's your due date? Come, let's set
Yeah.
a due date now.
Come and fund me, right? Okay, let's go.
Pauline's January, yours is in December.
Yes,
Oh, why
before
mine
Christmas.
faster?
Christmas gives to us.
Because yours
come
is
mine
like
one
done
month
already,
shorter?
ma. Yours done
course, your
already,
birthday
right?
is coming
Almost
next month.
completed already.
I
Okay,
love
okay.
Nancy
Because
right
you
now.
A student, that's why I need to give you shorter time frame.
So sad.
That's
Kena
how you know
punish.
she's a teacher, She does
That's
it
why
on
I
a
teacher.
daily basis.
She hasn't presented
Ponting,
yet.
ponting,
So she technically, right, would get this
I
back
stress
to
now.
on herself.
Oh no, I stress now.
And that's a great segue to Nancy presenting. How about that? Let's do that.
Yes.
Okay, can you see?
Yes.
Yep.
When I was building this app and I was going through all the 8 problems that was set for us, I thought that with the recent cases that have been happening in schools, I would build something around mental health. And also I've seen that my school counselors actually have a lot of paperwork. Every time when they counsel a student, they have a lot of forms to fill and papers are everywhere. It's disorganized, and when you want to find the files, it's just everywhere and it takes time to find, right? And to follow up, to have a system in place whereby they can work more efficiently. So I thought I will create based on that problem. The way I built my previous app was a bit different from how I approached Lovable, because Lovable that time during the hackathon, they actually got us to build the
PRD.
the PRD. I wasn't used to having that PRD because I went straight in and type everything that I want into the agent. So when I did that with Lovable, I thought that the experience at first wasn't as smooth because I was not familiar with the app yet. And so anyways, cut the long story short, I started building and then this came out. And then basically what it does is that I'm trying to ease the counselors' paperwork so that they can focus on what is more important, which is to counsel the students and not to have to do redundant work after the counseling session. What happens is that once the counseling session is done, the report is also there. They can just download, print it, or they want to keep it in the system, they can just file it. And so that's where the counseling management is. At that point of time when I was building, I was based on whatever knowledge that I have involving counseling in the school. So then later on, as I built further, I actually texted her during the hackathon and I asked her, if let's say we were to build you a system, what would be a great way to help ease your paperwork? And then she was like, is there such thing? Can you do that? And I was like, yeah. And I'm building it. I'm trying, but no promises, but I'm just trying to figure out if it can help. And so she was telling me, and I was just showing her the reports. So this is the teacher can actually build a case, or the students can write in and then it will create a case. And then when the counseling session happened, so this is the case summary and report. When they type in already, you can view the details. It's like this. And then you can download the PDF. And then you can say it's pending, it's ongoing, or it's resolved. We can add report here. We type whatever that during the counseling session when it's ongoing, right? And then after that, to do, maybe there's like different things that they need to do. Like maybe they need to go and after counsel, they find that, I need to verify this information with another teacher, with another student. Then you can put it in the to-do list and when it should be done before the next session. And then when they have like reports, like, of course, when you do counseling sessions, it's not like just one-off. So when you have a lot of students, you cannot actually keep up with like how many sessions I've done with you, or what is the last thing that we've discussed about. So everything is there for them to like browse through. So before the counseling session, so the counselors can actually, have a recap of what they have touched on, what has actually resolved, or what actually still stays the same, whatever. So they can have like a comprehensive way to like understand the problem before they actually counsel the kid. And you can see the recent journal entries. So these entries are from students. There should be another app for students that is linked to this app. Okay, but I couldn't do it during the 3 hour of hackathon. The students will write whatever they want to write. They can journal, or they can talk to a teacher, they can talk to a counselor, they can pick, okay? So all those reports or journals will come to this app for the counselors. And so I've actually gotten AI to summarize like the important points for the counselor to like review before they can take action. So it's related to what? How serious is the problem? And what are the follow-up actions? What they do is that they can just read this summary that is written by AI. And then if they see the need to read the full extent of the journal, then they can go and read the journal, which is also at the bottom. But I was just testing out, so I just simply wrote like short ones here. I don't think the counselor needs suggestions for follow-up action, but they will give. So the counselors can either follow it or don't. It's up to them. It's just to assist the counselor. Counselors are also human. They will also get overwhelmed when in schools there are so many students to counsel. Okay, this is the part where it's supposed to be in another app. Now that I think of it. So there is a journal. You can journal. So you write your name, you write your class. You don't have to give phone number if you don't want. You can just write. Maybe sometimes you just want to vent things out. So you just say, I need a listening ear, or I need to talk to a counselor, or I want to talk to a specific teacher, but maybe I don't want to talk face to face yet. I just want to message the teacher. So this is the channel that the students can actually use, and then they submit the entry. And then you have mood check. So, you can just click. Student management one is more of like digital journal if the students want to vent out, or the students want to share, or the students have problems. They have a channel to go to. And then calm zone. This one is given by Lovable. I just left it there. So they have like techniques on how to calm yourself down if you're angry, or you're sad, or you're overwhelmed. And then after that, you have daily affirmation. So if you don't like this affirmation, just continue clicking until there's one that fits you. And this is some of the suggestions or the tips and ways to manage the emotion. If they find it helpful, they can go there. This letterbox and this journal, it's pretty similar, which I need to tweak also. But this letterbox is mainly to send to the teacher. So when I reach out to a specific teacher, right, there's actually a list of teachers in that school that the students can click to reach out to. So that's the app. that I've built so far. And I want to thank John for his credit, because in the midst of building the app, I actually finished my credit, and then John Chu actually generously shared his credit for me to try to finish up so that I can ship it out during the hackathon. Yeah. So
Well done.
The second time you got
Sharing
investment.
is caring.
yes,
Yeah.
thank you. So so that's the app that I was trying to build, and I'm still waiting for my counselor to be freer so that we can sit down and discuss like what she need exactly, so that when this is workable for my school, it means it is workable across Malaysian schools, because they use the same system. And I think all of us don't like to do paperwork because it's very redundant, right? And if we can solve this paper work, then they can do what they're supposed to be doing, which is counsel the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
Listen,
Nice.
your fellow counselor, or actually your counselor friend, did she have an opportunity to even have a glance at the app?
Yeah, I mean, like during the hackathon, I was video recording it and letting her see, this one you can press, this one you can download. She's like, oh, yes, I need that. Can you also add in the psychometric test? I'm like, you tell me what is it, then, I will add it in for you. So know more about like, okay, psychometric test, how do you want it to appear on the app so that it is helpful, you see? Yeah, so she's excited, and she's very open to discuss with me how to polish this whole thing up so that it is actually usable and it is user friendly for the counselors.
I like the fact that you are removing the paperwork out of a responsible bucket, and so that she has more time not only just to counsel but more time for herself, or more time to think about what are some of the things that I can actually help with each of the students.
Correct.
And I was just wondering, when you mentioned about the follow-ups and all that, right, would you be thinking about incorporating maybe the level of urgency, like if they were to journal, right? Some of them, maybe the intensity is very high. Would it have like a certain prompt, like maybe red alert, so that the counselor would be
they
like,
can
okay.
flag it. Correct. Yes. So the AI, right, they actually would rate the seriousness of it. Of course, you cannot rely fully on AI, but
Yeah.
the AI would summarize it, and then after that, when the counselor goes through the journals, if let's say the AI actually said hi, like they need attention, then they can straight away, highlight it and create a case out of it. And
Okay.
also in the report, there is like the counselor can put high, medium, low. So if it's high, then they know that, okay, this one need a lot of attention. And then they also can schedule the next appointment with the students so that they don't miss out. And there's also like a reminder for the counselor, like, hey, today, these are the people that you're going to counsel. So these are the files that you need to see, things like that. So yeah, that's the idea behind this app. But I am still trying to, like, the layout of the app still needs a lot of tweaking, because it feels like when I'm using it, it feels like it's still everywhere. I don't really like it. Like, why do I need to click so many buttons? So that one need a bit of thinking, and also asking the counselor what are their preference in terms of the layout. Because at the end of the day, they are the one going to use it, not me. Yeah.
Yep. What I really like about your approach is you were building side by side with an actual potential user. It's not just you dream a fictional character, but it's like, I'm speaking with this person who will be my first user. I'm building with a real person in mind. I really, really love that. Yeah. Your feedback loop is also like instant, which is amazing.
Correct. And I really like her energy. She's so excited to build this. Like, she said, please finish it. Or she even said, how much do I need to pay for the app?
There you go.
But obviously, no, how am I supposed to charge her with this? She's also doing it for the kids, what?
I think
So yeah.
in terms of pure results, right? Like she's the only person in this room right now, right, who has already have made two things that people are either already funding her for or investing credits in her or
It's
already
true.
offering to pay already, The
It's true.
validation, market validation, right, is so strong.
Yeah.
got market already.
That's why I tell you, there's so many things in the school that needs solving. There's so many problems. And the day that I actually created the first app, I was like, you know what? There's so many potentials just within my school. I don't even have to go out of the school compound to think of what app I can build. But
Makes
yeah,
sense.
we need more credits.
You can ask your teacher to sponsor you credits instead.
Yeah, that's true.
All the school, right?
yeah.
Just fit in and donate credits.
Yeah.
Because I could actually see this, like, you can link it to a lot of kids nowadays. They are seeing psychiatrists and all that. Imagine if you can also share all that card or information to them, the conversation will be more in sync, and then you're able to help them at a better way, rather than just listening again. Maybe that time he might already has, forgotten what he shared and stuff like that. So
Correct.
this is like a very good medical card, I would say.
Yep. Yep.
No, I mean, if you look
Okay,
at it,
yeah.
right? If you look at all the insurance institution, for example, like all the hospitals will have their own system, but then they don't really have like one individual where they can pull out all the
That you
data.
can sing, yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing this. You can actually do so much of that, and if really there's a lot of abuse or danger zone, you can actually link it straight to, I don't know, maybe other institutions.
But I think this one, I need to think also from the confidentiality perspective.
Yes.
Correct, for
Because
sure.
when I shared with my cousin, the first thing she flagged out for me was, how safe is this? Who can retrieve this information? Because it's confidential. It has to be very safe. So,
Correct.
so I think also why you see like hospitals and all these agencies or companies, they don't really want to have a syncing system where the information can flow so easily. I think they want to safeguard that, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Even in the school itself, before even looking at institutions just within the school, in the last 2 to 3 weeks, whole Malaysia was all eyes on education because of the different
Things that
incidences
was
that
happening,
have
cases.
happened, right? With all the different cases, right? So I'm also wondering, how can fellow students play a part in this, in respect of being taking care of their friends, their environment. I'm curious, the situation that happened in Bandar Utama, it can't be just this one single student that had it all inside his heart. I'm sure the friends may have heard of it. I'm sure there have been situations along the way that has built up towards this. Okay, so for my segment, during the day of the hackathon, I actually didn't get to build much. I was walking around helping the team because people had lots of questions. So they needed
Donated
a team of
his credits to me.
yeah, and I donated my credits to you. So in that sense, but because we were doing this, it was a really good excuse for me to go all right, I'm going to set aside 2 to 3 hours last night to do something as well, right? So that I clock in my time to build as well. And then this is like building in public. The topic that I chose is impact storytelling. I have quite a few friends that I've known who either help NGOs or are part of NGOs themselves. They are small NGOs. And one thing that have consistently came up again and again is the fact that they are very passionate and good at what they are doing for their NGOs. But when it comes to drawing attention to the impact that they have done, writing about it, fundraising, showcasing it, that's a different ballgame. They may not be experts at it, and they may not even have the energy or the space to do it. And the max they could do typically is just taking a picture, posting it on Instagram, or taking a story, and that's it. To go beyond that is actually a huge hassle. So I was thinking, okay, if that's the situation, how can I help? So my process, I spent about a good solid 1 hour to 1.5 hours just on creating the PRD. So I did 2 things, right? First, I went to ChatGPT, started a new chat, right? And then I talked about this issue. And at the end, my final prompt was, based on everything that we have discussed, can you create a prompt that captures the core discussion points so that AI can turn this into a PRD. So then I copied and pasted that. Then I went to a PRD creator that was built by Andre from Built with AI. And then I pasted it in. And then I continued with my process. Now, please turn whatever that I've discussed into a PRD. I even worked on the name with it. And the name of this tool that I've created, it's called Root Speak, right? Root for grassroots, right? And it's the voice, the stories of the grassroots. And Speak because the people who will be using it, they have the opportunity to tell their stories. So Root Speak. And it is almost like introducing one step before or replacing that one step of using it on or posting their stories on social media. This way, it can capture the matrix that they need and also help them polish the story. So that's the core concept about it. Now, I'm going to let you see the homepage. It's quite basic at the moment. I spent a lot more time going into the tool, the tool itself. So it is turning your impact into compelling stories, right? And a lot of it is focused around this portion, creating a story. Who use this, they will have the opportunity to upload their stories. AI will support them to generate it, and they can then share it, and they can do different things with it, whatever that they choose, whether it's just captions or posting a longer form of story. And then eventually the dream would be helping them to even create video scripts. So with that, let's look at the dashboard, right? This can be used by anyone who is part of so how it looks like is that the first thing they can see is they can see the matrix that's important to them. So for this, I was thinking of maybe a NGO like Teach for Malaysia, for example, where the core matrix could be like the number of teachers that we reach, number of students that we have impacted, and maybe the number of events that we have held to show the activities that we have done. But if you are from a different NGO, let's say if it's trash, for example, it could be like amount of tons of trash collected, people reached out or involved in, institutions that are partnered with. So whatever tree matrix that's important to you, that's the first thing that you can see. So you can see whether, okay, are you moving the needle? And then the next thing is you can create your story. And when you create your story, then what you will see is like you will have all the collection of stories that you have created. So I was just trying, right, as I was building. So what you will see here is the headline that you have and then the stories. If I click into it, you can see all the different pictures that you uploaded. I just took some of the pictures that we have snapped in the past. And then this is the context that I added in here, like helping professionals, right, rethink their careers, for example. And then what AI will do is that it will take this and it will create stories depending on whatever format I want to post it in. So then I can just copy and paste, right, and then take it forward. And more importantly, is based on whatever I share, it captures the matrix. So the more stories I add in, the more numbers will be stacked. And then that will go back to the dashboard and it will add to these numbers. So imagine if I keep like every week, for example, I have one event and I post, right? Then at least at the end of the year or end of the month, I can see this is actually the impact that they have done. Typically right now, the habits that I know is that they actually have to go through their photo albums or even like all the emails that they have and then record one by one. And that's a long administrative process. So why not tag on to a habit that they already done already? So going back to this, they can also choose to edit whatever has generated or improve on it. So to strengthen the feedback loop. And the more times they do this, the more the AI will learn, and that will help them solidify the brand voice that they have. And then lastly, once they are done, they can save, right? If they want to change the tone of the message, they could change it as well. Now, with this daily habit, I ask myself, what would be valuable, right? After you have done multiple entries. So at the end of the year, when they want to share with either their investors or the communities that are part of their community members, what they can do is they can do a year in review, which I'm still in the midst of building it. And the year in review, almost like for Spotify, at the end of the year, you always have like, you listen to X summer of music this year, you explore. I want to do something like that as well, so that as an NGO, you could see how much more growth you have had throughout the year. And it's not just busy work, doing things, not going anywhere. Right now, AI can be your partner in capturing your growth. And the dream of it is that it captures all the different story images that you have, right? It captures your own review or reflection of how the year has been like, and then it would compile all the stories and give you the collection or review of the whole year. So this is what it's like. What a year, right? We are actually very floored of how far we have come, and then it captures the details. So the next step for me is actually putting in even like the matrix so that you can capture what's important or meaningful for you, not just inside the caption, but an overall matrix tracker as well. Yeah. So that's that. And just to capture it all, if they want to do a new story, they can choose to either capture a new story or the year in review, whichever that's true for them. They can upload images or videos, maximum 10 MB each, and then write in the context, because I think it's very important for the individual to also tell the AI why this matters. And last but not least, they can add in the matrix if they already had, or they can already mention it inside the context, which the AI will then plug out and then extract it. In the profile section, I thought it was quite important as well, because then you can see who is the person holding the account. And more importantly, what are the key metrics? Define the 3 most important aspects that matter most to your organization and add in there. That way, if let's say you have new people joining or a new intern or freelancer who comes, you can just use this to share like, okay, these are the 3 most important things. So whatever that stories that you capture out of all the events that we're doing or engagement, make sure these are the 3 things you just got to remember and capture them. So it helps with onboarding process as well. So yeah, that's what I've managed to build thus far.
It's
Nice.
impressive though. How many hours you took to build this?
I kept it strictly to maximum 3 hours as well. So it's the same with hackathon time.
Wow. I already see that I can use it for PivotLab.
Great.
I really like how, I mean, it's for something in 3 hours or so, it's really quite complete as well. Like, it's also very polished in terms of how it all links together. And then you also give flexibility to the people to adjust the metrics. Yeah, I think that's also key. And how AI pulls it out for you, I think that's very, very cool.
I actually like the growth part because, a lot of NGOs and all that, they do the work, they're always on the run, but sometimes they don't really track the metrics and then they feel the burnout. So this is a very good recharge to say that, hey guys, we are actually doing the good work and it's heading towards the right direction. I really love that part. And you are actually making life very easy because now they don't have to think about managing social media. So maybe another thing that you can add eventually would be to do the auto scheduling for them, because then at least sometimes if they do the batch, it could be just one sitting where they throw all the photos in and then right now they have all the content. Can they just do a no-brainer schedule and batch it all out, for example? Then that'll be easy. And if you want, sometimes it could also be introducing different languages.
Eventually, yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, because I think that will be helpful because, you have people that want Chinese and all that. And then it will be, if it becomes SEO friendly, right, then it's going to be very discoverable for them.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And
nice.
part of the
idea about
future
it,
plan is also to, go for it, John, sorry.
Oh, sorry, I really like the idea of syncing it, the social media account, so you can help batch it and then just auto schedule it. That's really like the operational workload part really sorted.
Yeah. And also like from the community standpoint, or part of the vision of it is to be able to then link different NGOs from different industries because they can trade resources, do collabs, because together is strength, right? And you're not always alone, which is what a lot of NGOs typically feel like, oh, I'm just one small NGO trying my best to do this. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right. Nice.
So
can jalan
with
already
all
lah.
this, I still need a bit of refining. Yeah, I'm not quite happy with where things are.
Okay.
But that's where we are headed. That's where we are
So
headed.
is this
Okay,
just
so-
for pictures?
Pictures?
Sorry?
I think
So
up to
are-
videos also.
Videos can?
That's what I'm enabled. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Before you want to do your ending or whatever, I'm just assuming, Nancy has put John and myself, into a hot seat where we may have to like indirectly declare by when our project will be completed, right? So obviously, we can't end this on a very, unfair note, I would say. So Nancy and John, by when will your product be up and running?
I love
Wow.
it.
Pauline, really?
I love it.
I'm a coach.
When is yours, Pauline? I max yours.
January. Pauline's one's January.
Yeah, January.
John
What
Ong one
date?
is December.
That one you
10 January.
volunteer John Ong put.
Yeah lah, then
My first
declare
one is
eh.
almost done way. Mine is like the most not
yeah,
done.
ours is not done one. There's a lot
No,
more
mine
to
is
tweak.
not done as well. It's far from done. John
It looks
Ong's one
done to
is
me.
actually very polished.
Yeah.
It depends on what features to add lah. I'm now after today's discussion, I feel like I have to add a couple more things to it or.
Okay lah.
tweak some
You
features
choose
also.
lah. You choose the month.
It's okay. I'll try to deliver.
He never
What?
say which month. He just said, I'll try to deliver.
Yeah, he said
No
I'll
lah,
try.
you already say December
No,
mah.
he said
Okay lor.
try to
Oh,
deliver means
December.
December.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Nice. December.
Okay,
So
John,
Pauline,
we still
when,
didn't
which
forget
date?
you.
Whatever date you
Jan.
say, I follow.
And Jan.
Oh, Joe.
And Jan, so 31st January 2026, is it?
Yes, very good. I
All
like
right,
your-
done. And then see, she's like trying to like smile and then keep quiet.
Like trying to just end the whole
Like
thing.
worm away.
No.
Well, I'm hoping to talk to her this month when everything's done for the school. And
Mhm.
then after that, doing that whole thing in December during my break and hopefully to ship out to use it in January.
Mhm.
When the school
January?
start.
When is school starting?
I think it's 11.
Okay. So
11.
11 Jan 2026, it will go live for your school.
Hopefully.
There's no hope.
Maybe I should. Should I put a same date with you guys? So 31st of January.
School starts on the 11th.
You're this coach,
And see you
really,
talking
man.
to coach. Cannot run
That's
away.
why. Okay. 11 January. It's good to have you guys to be accountable for this.
Nice.
Okay, 11 January, yeah?
Well
11
done.
January.
Yes, 11 Jan.
So we need to have part 2 of this podcast because
How
we
about
need to
that?
report back.
Yes. So we can plan our 1st February, for example.
Nice.
And then we all
When
share
everybody's-
before, after. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Challenge
Nice.
accepted.
Yes.
Nice. Okay, so to wrap this up, let's do a very quick round of like reflection. So we have 3 questions. Let's start with the first, right? What did you learn throughout this entire process, being part of the hackathon and even by being part of this sharing session in PivotLab Playground?
I think I'll go first. So I think the key takeaway, I think that was valuable for me, and I also hope that this podcast can also impart to the listeners and the viewers as well, is that I think having a community of like-minded people, a community of builders will really help. So speaking from personal experience, I wasn't really I was resistant to even get out of my comfort zone to go and join the hackathon. But having a community of people to keep you accountable, you're here and then support you through the journey. And like even now when sharing this whole process, right, and sharing the final output, getting feedback and how to improve it is going to also, and then keep you accountable to ship the next round. I think it's key. I think it's important. So if you can, have your own group or own trusted tribe that you can push each other to and support each other to build. If not, at the same time, you can check out PivotLab, and the events that we help. Hopefully, we can also bring together people through this community to have like-minded people to build together.
Okay. For me, I would say if you did not reach out to me, I think the idea would just die there and then, because I was just treating it like, an experiment. I was just going to the hackathon to look see what's this all about, because I knew we can't avoid AI. But the question
Yeah.
here is, how else could we learn? And hackathon is one of the best way. Secondly is, to have an accountability group. Like, I'm a coach. It's so easy to catch on somebody and make sure they deliver. But I was just telling you, John, who catches me? Nobody. And right now, I feel like
Now
I'm being
we all will
catched.
catch you.
Exactly. And can you imagine if we do that to one another, how fast can we actually grow? And what are all
Yeah.
the potential opportunities that we may bring to the world and to ourselves because of this starting point? So I think what's important is eliminate the word I don't know, but just go and find a community. Just go and do it. Just go and find the like-minded people and see what kind of path open up for you. And for all you know, we may be doing something really different,
Yeah,
but this is a starting point. Yeah, just go.
100%.
Yesterday, we had a 2 days workshop where we teach people how to create video, right? And one of the mantra we said is, berani bodoh. Just be willing to be stupid, because when you let that ego down, you will realize that there's so many things that you can discover along the way. So just berani, future.
Nice.
Love it. Love it. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
I
actually
love
quite
that
in line with the
mantra.
spirit in the tech industry,
Can
which
introduce
is
it
like
to my
build in
students.
public.
Yeah. Berani bodoh.
Nice.
Guys, you need to be Berani Bodo right now, okay? Starting from today is Berani Bodo.
Nice.
Okay, for me, the first thing is don't simply give due dates to people because it will backfire. That's the first, right? I think I'm really happy that I joined the hackathon and like to have this community to meet different people. Everybody has so many ideas and like so many problems to solve, and it's just so encouraging really to see like everyone trying to make a difference in this world or in their community or even to the people around them. I think it gives hope that, you know, in the midst of whatever that's happening and how people are misusing AI, we know that there are also a lot of people who's using AI for good.
Nice.
Yeah, so I think, yeah, it's so nice to get to know Pauline too today.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm definitely going to go badak berendam with her.
Love it.
Yeah, it's so nice. Yeah, just to meet people, and then even in our own industries, we may be burnt out doing things day in, day out, the same thing that we know. And then now meeting new people, exchanging ideas, different industries, like sharing about what each other are doing. I think that gives like a fresh of breath air, fresh of
Breath of fresh air.
a breath of fresh air. My gosh. Okay, Brani Bodo. Okay, then, yeah, so for the past few years, I feel very stuck, I've told John. And now I feel there's a lot of pathways that I can see. There's a lot of perspective doors that are opening up that I am able to venture out. And although I'm still in the education line, there are a lot of things that I can do differently now because of AI.
Love it. Yeah, and for me, it's quite similar to what you said, Nancy, which is your background is actually your greatest strength. So no matter what life throws at you, for me, I realized with AI, you're safe, right? If things happen at jobs, in your job, for example, of course, nobody wants it, right? But now with AI, you do have more tools at your disposal, and Lovable is one of them, which is why we were able to create this app. And yeah, no matter what your background is, with these tools, your future actually is very bright. So do not need to worry about that. Which brings me to the next question for us. Now that all of us have experienced a new tool called Lovable and spoke about it, shared about it, how do you think professionals can use AI better, either to reinvent themselves or to help their lives to be better, or even in their professions? Yeah, so let me take that first to share my initial thoughts about it, but then feel free to like jump in after that. I did a quick research and I read in the last year, just in 2020, every day you have averaged between 17 to 20 new tools. This doesn't include like updates and all, yeah? New tools in being built and shipped, and it's featured on the popular websites. So we haven't even included the less popular websites. So in a year, just in 2025, the known new tools, I think we are seeing about 4 to 5,000 new tools. So if you stack that up, right, imagine the possibilities that is actually available. So no matter your background, the world is really your oyster. The problems that you understand in the industry that you are in is actually your benefit. And you can be a problem solver and play a bigger game right now. Yeah. But what do y'all think?
I think this is again my message is also like talk to communities, like people closest to you, because I think even navigating the 4,500 over tools a year, right, it's an overwhelming part. That alone is a reason for most people to just give up and say, I'm not going to bother trying. So I don't even know which tool is the best. Because I think that's certainly the hurdle that I struggled with. And I think earlier this year. So I think having people who have at least walked the path a few steps ahead of you, who can share their own personal experience and say, okay, this was my experience using this tool, what I like about it, what I don't like about it. Then you can determine for yourself a little bit faster in terms of the use case, whether this certain tool is suitable for you. Otherwise, you have to like in the hours yourself, right? I think personally, I experienced this myself. I think when we started this journey, I think in July, we started with make.com and we struggled with that. And then we tried things like NAN, then we got introduced other tools and now Lovable. I realized what really accelerated the exposure to the tool, the use case, whether it's suitable or not suitable. It's like, okay, number one, you join events or you go for a sharing session, you join an event maybe like Automation Mondays, like what PivotLab does, because you get exposed to different tools. Like in Automation Monday, we get exposed to tools like Replit, we also have tools like Nime, NAN, Zapier, so on and so forth. Then we get to have a quick conversation, because this quick conversation can give me the data point to make a decision that otherwise I have to spend how many hours of scrolling through YouTube videos not knowing the right questions are, because it's not interactive. It's one way. I have to digest it, or I probably have to ask ChatGPT, and even that I may not get reliable results that I really want. Because to be honest, even if I use ChatGPT right now to have like product reviews or to cross-check, it's still not nailing the essence of what I'm getting compared to if I have to speak to an actual person and ask him questions about the nuance, right? So I think that doesn't take away from the fact that I still need community to really accelerate this whole thinking process. So yeah, tools help, but it's already so overwhelming. I think having peers who have walked the path, or some mentors who can actually, not even mentors, just like people who just user review, just to give you feedback, data points.
Nancy, you wanna?
I think based on my experience, the limited experience that I have and what I've gone through, I think there's no need to compare with the tools that are around, or the pressure that you need to give yourself. Or I need to build something that is scalable, that is popular, that is useful. It doesn't start from there. It really starts from just solving problems. And as long as you are closing that gap that you see, I think that is already good enough. And whether or not that app actually takes off or not, it is still a starting point. And you know, the whole journey is really about the process of learning. It's not a loss if your app didn't go viral, you know, but you have learned something. And you know, like what we have previously talked about, we never start from scratch. And so from that experience that we have, then we move on to build another one, and then we can hold on to whatever that we've gotten, and then just, you know, add on to it as we go. And along the way, we will find people, the community get bigger, and then the exposure will definitely be there. Yeah, so it's about focusing on solving problems, not focusing on trying to be, whoa, I got a viral app, you know. I don't know. For me, it's not about that. Yeah.
Okay. I always say this, always look deep inside and identify what is your pain point. And if there's an AI way to go about, you know, handling it, what would it be? Because you are your best testimonials, or the person that can fix, right? If you are facing that, eventually there'll be other people that's facing that as well. So why not use that and then only look for the solution? Because then you can actually identify like, hey, you know, do I need like mentorship? Like, is there certain tools, maybe 3 to 5 tools that I can work with, and put it into a 90 days goal, so that you stay focused, you know exactly what are the things that you want to work on, rather than just going to dabble around all the tools, because that's going to cause more confusion. Why not just stick to it first, and then, you know, look at all the people that works within that tool or within the pain points that they are also solving, and then work together with them. So like one of the things that I've always wanted to build is like a content research tool. But the idea wise, I can't really see it. I know I want something like that. So what I do is, as a shortcut, right, I subscribe to all this potential app that I can just pay for it first, just to see what it looks like behind the scene, what I like, what I don't like about it, how can I improve it. And then from that question is, could I actually build something but for the Asian market?
Nice.
So I think one of the best way here is be willing to invest in certain time and money, because that's where you can actually learn the best. And berani bodoh, just go and mix around with people, you know, go and ask questions to all these AI mentors and get your learning accelerated. Because the best way here is, when you do that, your pain point is being solved at its fastest speed.
Awesome.
Berani bodoh.
Berani bodoh.
Yeah. Berani bodoh.
Nice one.
Awesome. Yep. So we have come to the end of this sharing session for us, as well as the end of the episode of PivotLab Playground. Before we end, is there any final advice or takeaway you just want our listeners to hear? All good?
Berani bodoh.
Berani bodoh. I think that's the biggest takeaway. Love it.
Yes. I wanted to shout that too.
Awesome. With that, thank you very much, everybody. It's been such
Thank
a
you
pleasure.
so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for
Thank
sharing.
you.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.